Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Greg. I'm the Executive Director of the ISAACS Center. The ISAACS Center is responsible for the operation of 5 locations. A senior center on 93rd and 1st, a youth center on 93rd and 1st. We operate 2 beacon programs at PS 198, 1 at 224, and we're responsible for operation of the Cornerstone program here at Johnson. Last time I was here, we shared with you a schedule of activity in support of seniors at this site. And you gave us a lot of feedback at that time about what was not so good about that schedule and what you'd like to see changed about that schedule. In addition, spent a lot of time talking about the way in which we want to improve communication. So, today what we'd like to do is to share with you a schedule of activity that we think reflects the programming that you have in place and some additional programming we'd like to offer starting in September for seniors at the Johnson Center. So this is a Johnson Center focused activity schedule. And we are interested in what you think about this, but we also think what we put together reflects what we talked about. So, on that note, I want to introduce you to 2 of my staff members. Crystal Simmons, who was with us, who was here last time with us. Crystal's right over there. She's the Senior Manager of Aging Services. And that's Aaron Rooney right over there. He's our Clinical Director. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to invite Crystal up to talk you through the schedule that's in front of you here. And I'd like then for Aaron maybe to talk a little bit in terms of what we offer in terms of case management services. And then we'll have some opportunity for a conversation. On that note, Crystal Simmons, why don't you talk through our proposed schedule for September? Oh, nice.
Good afternoon again, everyone. I hope your summer has been going well so far. First things first, did everyone receive a schedule that's in front of them? Yes. Everyone received the schedule. Okay. Did everyone get a chance to look at the schedule? As I stated before, the schedule has a mixture of all of the activities that you currently have, which is on the other page that was being handed out before, which looks like this. So if you look at some of the activities on the bottom, you will see that some of the activities are actually on the new schedule. Okay? Now, let me just say, this is a sample schedule. It is not set in stone. I will really appreciate if you be open and honest with me and let me know if you're not interested or something that needs to be changed, or if there's anything that you are asking for. I did receive your wish list, and I implemented what was on your wish list, which is how I came up with the current schedule. But if there's something that you did not get a chance to speak on prior, I'm welcoming you to speak on now. Can I get those?
Anybody else not get one?
Okay, so the schedule of events is the building opens at 8 a.m. Senior programming is from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Breakfast will be served on site. And if you can see, it says it in the red, between 8:30 and 9:15. I didn't put 8 a.m. because I understand no one may want to come downstairs for breakfast at 8 o'clock in the morning. But I figured...
Why was the times of the program changed?
What's the change in the
The change
program?
is breakfast just starts at 8. The building is open at 8.
That's not what I asked for then, so why was the time of the senior program changed?
Okay, I got 8 a.m. to 2 p.m.
I know what you have. I said, why was the time changed?
So what time do you have for the senior program?
So you said you read the schedule.
you have
The schedule you
9:30?
had, yeah, so.
Okay, what I'm trying to accomplish was trying to fit in as much activities into a day. If we start at 9:30, then breakfast is going to be at 9:30, and then all the activities will follow after that. I put it earlier so that we can have more activities in one day. If you see that the activities will start at 9:15, it's just breakfast is just being served a little bit earlier. So if you're not in agreement with breakfast to start at 8:30, and if you're telling me to shift it to later, then
One of the explanations of why it was changed, that's.
Okay. Okay, so then I give you the explanation? Okay. All right. So breakfast 8:30 to 9:15, lunch is from 12 to 1. There's a mixture of activities in there. We can start from Monday, computer class. Some of you expressed to me that you're interested in a computer class. Yes, we have computers in the front when you walk in. Yes, you have access to using the computers. Yes, we will have an instructor to assist you with the computers. It might be beginners classes, or it might be something that's a little bit more up to speed. Let me know. For now, it's beginners classes. Okay? Meditation. Some of you expressed on meditation and exercise classes. Yes, all of these classes will have an instructor to facilitate the classes. I'm not just going to put you in a room and tell you to meditate, because I don't even know how to meditate on my own. Okay, so an instructor will be here to assist you with meditation. The game room. A lot of times you play dominoes in here or cards in here. You want to transform the actual game room so that way you can be able to go in the game room and actually play games. Okay? The choir is one of the you already have a choir. That's something that was already stated, so I just put it in addition to. I see that on your wish list you did ask for a choir instructor. So I will find you a choir instructor for your choir. I'm going based on the wish list that was given to me. Moving on to 1:15 to 2 o'clock. Zumba. Yes, we'll have a Zumba class, and as I said before, there will be a Zumba instructor. Any questions so far on the Monday schedule? Okay, we're moving to Tuesday. Now, I noticed that we have a Latino population. If this is not something that you are interested in, ESL for Spanish speakers, then just say, Crystal, you know what, I'm not interested, and I'll omit it, okay? Then we move into the fitness room. You have a great fitness room with fitness equipment. The goal is to have an actual trainer to assist you, because you might get on a treadmill. I'm not saying that you're going to do it. You might press 8 speed, and then the next minute you know you're on a treadmill. Okay, I'm not going to use the word treadmill. I'll just make it an example. But maybe you get on the bike and you press the wrong button.
Let's get on the example of that the equipment that's in the room right now is not adequate for seniors. So we discussed about getting different types of equipment.
Okay,
Is
so that means
that still on the agenda or not?
it's still there, but let me get through the schedule first, and then I'll get through additional equipment. Okay? Let me just finish this first, and then I'll get through any additional equipment. Walking club, you already have walking club Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I didn't take that out. That's something that you already have. Art class painting, something that you already do. I left it as is. Lunch. You asked on your wish list for line dance. I will find an instructor. So far I found belly dancing, but you didn't ask for belly dancing, you asked for line dancing. So I will find an instructor to teach you line dancing. Book club. You asked for that on your wish list. I made an addition to, if you look on Tuesdays, it says book club English, and I also thought it would be nice on Fridays to have a book club for Spanish speakers. Okay? Now, we'll move to any questions on Tuesday so far. And we're going to move to Wednesday schedule. Writing class. Now, writing class can be a mixture of different things. It could be, in case maybe you have an itch to write poetry, so we'll have an instructor just to teach you write poetry, or if you ever wanted to write your own short story, we'll have someone here to show you how to do that. There will be an instructor here for that. Game room, same concept. You'll be in the game room where you can play dominoes, cards, watch TV, whatever it is that you want to do in the game room. Walking club, sorry.
That room is very small, and you really want to have a game. That's what we're working.
Right. So, right now you have a pool table, but then you can also get a dominoes table and you can play dominoes. The room is actually, it looks small, but you can The game room, it's not just at that time. The game room will be
Up
open.
there. No, it's tight. We've been really see there too much, and it's uncomfortable.
I'll take that into consideration.
Thank you.
Swing with the Crew, which is 10:30 to 11:45 on Wednesdays. So basically, Swing with the Crew is someone comes in and they're playing the piano or other instruments, and it's just like a sing-along. It's just, you know, they sing oldies, they sing goodies, they do different things. Say that again? Okay. Okay, yes. Then we have chair yoga. Some of you have already went to the chair yoga class with Lucia, so she'll be back again in September, okay? We'll move on to Thursday, wish list senior advisory board. So that was on your wish list, we'll get, if that's something that you're interested in, we'll go from there. Meditation, same thing, there will be an instructor. Game room, arts and crafts. Arts and crafts, we will have someone here just to do arts and crafts with you. That would be different from the painting class. The art class on Tuesdays is mostly painting. The arts and craft class is where you'll be creating other pieces. It could be wreaths, it could be flowers, whatever that art teacher decides to do, it's crafty.
Will y'all be, giving us the, art equipment?
Yes. All the supplies, yes, supplies. Okay. Now Thursdays, as you know, we can do a lot of fun, but we gotta put something in there. Presentations. Presentations could be musical presentations, or it could be healthcare presentations. Bunch of different presentations. It could be on nutritional education, it could be managing what you eat. A number of different presentations will be here on Thursdays at that time. Then we'll move into Friday. Computer class, same thing. There will be an instructor here. Fitness room, same thing with a trainer in the fitness room. Crochet class. I don't know if some of you crochet, but if you do, we'll have somebody here, and they just, really the crochet class, if you want to learn, you can learn. If not, it's a time to sit around with other people and crochet. Yes.
And we have a neighbor teacher too.
A knitting teacher? Okay. I will add things, and then we'll go from there, okay? Okay, then after that, at 1:15, right after lunch, there's a salsa dance class. So it's a little bit different from Zumba, but it's still high energy. But we want to make sure that we're incorporating all the cultures that are at Johnson. Got it? And then, of course, right after that, for those who are interested in the book club for Spanish speakers. Okay? Any questions so far on the schedule? Let me write down knitting and we'll go from there. Do you have any questions? Is there something that you didn't hear that you're interested in?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Right now, we have a sewing class. I don't see sewing on here. This sewing class, is like an hour, but I think it should be 2 hours because by the time you get your stuff on the table and get it cut out and all of that.
Okay. So sewing and knitting so far?
Yeah.
No problem. Anything else? I'm sorry, I need to hear what you're saying.
Excuse us, we can't hear, there's too many people talking.
Okay, so right, so I understand what you're saying. So the ESL for Spanish speakers, it's a class for those who speak Spanish who want to learn English. But what you're talking about is you would like to learn Spanish. So you want a conversational Spanish class. Okay, that's something different, but okay, I'll add that to the list. I understand. Okay.
So this gentleman here says that previously they had basketball.
Yes.
Where would that be at on the schedule?
Okay, so that was one of the questions that I had in regards to the basketball court. Is it something that was open Monday through Friday, or was there a certain day of the week? What is it? Fridays?
Friday morning.
Friday morning.
8 to 1, 8 to 12.
8 to 12, okay. Okay. Anything else that you're interested in besides basketball?
With the great meal, the exercise.
So fitness room and stuff, okay. Okay. Nothing, no classes?
Well, I see walking club.
Okay. Okay, very good. Just want to make sure that we're inviting.
Except the basketball was a bit.
Right.
Everything else
Fridays,
was good.
Fridays, open access gym, 8 to 12, basketball.
Right.
No problem. I know she has a question.
Okay. What, it needs to be made clear that it's just for the senior meal population.
Okay.
Not everybody can come in and
Right.
utilize.
That's the key. That's the key.
Okay,
We're with
so
it.
it's 60 and over, is that's what?
Wait a minute.
Okay, don't beat me up, okay, all right.
Can you clarify what is considered?
Okay, so I'm sorry, because in my head.
What is considered a senior to you?
Okay, you know what? No. So you know what? I'm gonna move it what the books taught me, and I'm gonna go with what you're telling me. So 50 is a class. So I'm not gonna call it senior office, so 50 and over. So right.
But you have to stipulate that.
But there's class, so it's senior, but it's not yet senior, it's almost senior.
But we want it to be 50
It's 50 and over. Okay.
Right.
So if you get that AARP card, that's good.
Now, ARP is 55. Okay, so I'm a little closer to that, okay? Okay. Thank you for clarifying that, you know. now you-
Okay, I'm looking at the schedule here for Thursday.
Okay.
I don't see anywhere where us as senior have our birthday party.
No, that does not change. So this is just a regular, Monday to Friday, you'll always have it last Thursday of the month. Last Thursday of the month is your birthday party. So instead of having the presentation that day, you'll have your birthday party.
So we should put that as.
So then I will add that.
Take presentation.
So I'm just gonna put an asterisk, like how I did on the bottom with additional scheduling, every last Thursday of the month, birthday party.
Yeah, because you got from 1 to 10. So that we put it. Yeah.
That's fine. But that's something that's recurring, so I don't. Okay.
Do y'all donate? I'm just saying, do y'all donate? I'm just saying.
I will see you after.
I got the word. I only took.
But I heard that you said radio.
I know that, but I'm just saying.
So the question we would like to hear. Okay, so last Thursday of the month would be your birthday party. So on those Thursdays, we won't have the presentation on those days because I suppose that everyone is going to be at the birthday party. So we're not gonna bother doing a presentation at that time, okay? All right. Game room, that's all in the game room. That's all in the. Oh, no, what I meant, no, not just dominoes, but dominoes, bingo, cards, Pokino, rummy. I think that's it off the top of my head. And spades. I don't play games, I'm sorry, I never learned. I never learned. I play Uno. That's it. That's it. Anything else? Monday, yes, you have a question?
Okay, now, you have scheduling of the different classes here,
Yes.
and you have meditation. Well, this is kind of, after lunch, nobody wanted to jump in and shaking and around.
So you want me to swap it?
Swap it.
Okay.
Can you swap that?
That's fair enough. You gonna come in here and
Of course.
Okay. Okay, so her question was since Zumba was at 1:15, she's making a suggestion that after lunch you don't want to jump up and down.
No,
But
you
so
walk
she
around.
said, no, listen, so she said, so take meditation that's that morning and swap it to after lunch, right? So that after lunch, but listen, but if you fall asleep, that's okay because that's still meditation, right? So we're gonna do that. So it's just gonna be a swap. So which means that 10:30, your lunch, and then you're gonna focus, right? Because I think that if you start the week good, you end the week good with meditation. That's just me, I don't meditate, so I wouldn't know. Any other Monday through Friday program, anything else? I like this, come on, anything else? I got games, bingo, spades, coquino, rummy, Uno. I'll come if you play Uno. I got spades. I don't do spades. Spades has a lot of fights. I don't do spades. Okay. Okay. All right. So now let's jump to the bottom of the page where it says additional scheduling information. So I want to make sure that I'm clarifying this. Second week of the month, on Tuesdays, we will have transportation to take you shopping. That could be Trader Joe's, or it could be Manhattan Valley, which is on the west side, and they have Home Goods and Home Foods and all that. If you don't like Manhattan Valley, it doesn't have to be Manhattan Valley. Or it could be 116th Street where Costco is. Target is over there. So, well, not everybody has a shopping cart and go to mall. And, okay, so we'll keep in mind Stu Leonard. Okay, so, the bus will pick you, yes. Oh, very good question. The bus, I gotta find out about Walmart because Walmart is a little further. So we'll see. So the second week of the month, the shopping trip is on Tuesdays. The third week of the month, the shopping trip is on Thursdays. I did it 2 different days because sometimes people have all their doctor's appointments on Tuesdays. Or you might have it on Thursdays. So if you can't go Tuesday, you go Thursday. If you can't go Thursday, you go Tuesday. Fair? Okay. Transportation, yes. Yes. There will be a bus. The bus will pick you up from here, take you shopping, and then it will bring you back here. So that's round trip. Okay?
So where are these shopping trips are?
How many people can go?
So the bus holds 12 people at a time. Only 12.
But we love Walmart, so you have to try to fix that.
I hear Walmart every meeting that I have is always Walmart, and there's always a question mark with Walmart.
Where are these trips?
So the trip, right? So it depends. So it could be she says Stu Leonard's. They said, well, Target is right there, so you wouldn't necessarily need to drive to Target, but some people may not want to use their shopping cart and want to just go get a ride and come back. Or it could be Manhattan Valley, Trader Joe's on 14th Street. And if you have suggestions, you give me suggestions.
Y'all pick out or do we pick out?
No, you could let me know and I will try to map it out. But it can't be too far because of highways and all other types of restrictions. And we gotta make sure that it's traffic, yes, because then we have to see what time it'll leave. So if it's something that's a little bit further, then we just have to make different transportation.
You know, we can take 12.
You can only take 12 at a time. Because that's the size of the bus.
A bus or a van?
We have
It's a van.
It's a bus. It's a Ford E350 series. It's a bus. Like the same size as the accessory bus. It's a small bus. It's not a 56 passenger bus. But I'm gonna get back to you. You have a question?
Yes, back to 50 and over, right? So is Wednesday available? Can we also do Wednesday if you guys are not doing anything at 8 o'clock on Wednesday morning?
I'll look at it. And then I'm going to sit back and try to put all of this that everyone's giving to me.
Yeah.
And then I'll get back to you. I'll let you know.
All right, thank you.
Okay?
All right.
Yes?
Due to what you just said, like say, if you have a time frame between 8 and 10 and the gym is not available, can a guy like myself that is 60 years old come in and shoot around?
We're not going to do that. I appreciate the question, I understand it. Unless we have time set aside in the schedule for open gym time, unless we can set that time aside, we're not going to have that. It's going to be scheduled. You can expect this year that the gym is going to have very scheduled times to try to meet every population like that. So in other words, the gym is expected to be booked consistently. So there shouldn't be time where it's, oh, there's nothing going on, I can go in and shoot around. So what I'll try to do, we're going to try to set aside the Fridays, that one we're committed to, and then we'll look at the schedule and try to figure out where we might find other blocks of time. But I want to make sure it's clear to everybody here, we're going to try to make the gym as active as possible during the year, and then to make sure that if it's for 50 and older, that's within the gym. No one else.
Friday, definitely.
Friday, we're booking for you.
Right.
I'll work for you.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, like, say, even if it's, like, say, dealing with school hours, you figure between 8 and 10, kids are in school. So if the gym, I'm just
So
saying,
happy
the
to
gym is
look-
available.
Yeah, like I said, I totally understand. I just want to be clear that we're going to try to schedule the times in the gym so it's crystal clear who can be in, who has access. We'll look at the schedule and see if we can do
You'll
it.
post it so we'll know.
Friday.
Like, say, if it's we just want to shoot around just to get
Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the third, one fee-based trip a month, and I'm looking at your wish list on some of the trips that you want to go on. Casinos, Broadway shows, shopping, I'm guessing outlet shopping, museums, yes. Now, one trip a month, these are fee-based trips, which means you have to pay for the trips. But I will always make sure that I get the best deals possible. Okay? So I will look, I will go through, and I will come back and let you know what trips I've received, or what trips I was able to confirm, then I'll come back to you, and you let me know if you're interested. Now, when I see casinos, I'm not thinking in New York. When you say casinos, I'm thinking Sands Casino, I'm thinking Waukegan Casino, Empire City, I'm thinking Atlantic City Casino. Is that what you're thinking about? Have you heard of it? Yes? So we'll look, I will take a look at the casinos and I'll let you know. Because I know it's all about the bonus money. Okay, that's what drives people. It's about what you're getting back when you get there. Okay. Broadway shows, Broadway shows are very expensive, but I will look into it because usually transportation would be provided. So if we're including transportation and then we're including the show, they're gonna give me some numbers and I'll come back to you and let you know. Okay, that's fair? Okay. Any other scheduling questions before I give the floor to Eric?
It's not with this gentleman, I'm still going to see the sound.
Sight and Sound Theater? Yeah, we're still, but that's separate. That's, if you wanna go, then you'll go, right. But that's a group, it's two groups coming together. Okay? I know that Johnson members here, and the bus will leave from here. But Sight and Sound so far is leaving from. Okay.
Now, you said we're having all these different trips and shopping trips. Now, it's first come, first served, since you said you only have 12 seats.
No. Okay, let me clarify.
Yes.
Thank you for asking that. Okay, for the fee-based trip, that the one, and I'm gonna call it the one major trip for the month, that is not going to be with a 12-passenger bus. That will be with a coach bus. So that would be a bigger 56-passenger bus, okay? Based on how many people are going, okay?
That's part of the question.
Part of the question,
You
okay?
answered part of it. The second part of it, like,
You sign up, so you will sign up,
what you said, no, you're getting ahead.
okay?
You said that when we go to these different trips, it's only 12, like Trader Joe and all this. It's first come, first served. Now, look how many people here.
So
Are you
those,
gonna do it twice a week, or are you gonna do it once?
so right now,
Mhm.
it's just going to be once a week. one on Tuesday, and the following week, one on Thursday. So what we can do is we can say, on Tuesday, we'll go to Manhattan Valley with 12 people, and then the following Thursday, we'll go to Manhattan Valley with the other 12 people. So that way, I mean, it's once a month, but half of you go and the other half you go at another time, okay? We can swap it. It's something that we can work on, okay? We can
So
make-
let me just clarify for a second, and then I know there's questions. So let me just clarify transportation for a quick second. We have access to what's called a bus. This is the one you're referring to that's like 13 seats, right? 12 seats. I recognize that that's not enough to account for everybody, but we have access to that all the time. So I just think you have to understand at this point that we're going to try to accommodate as much as we can using our own vehicle, right? While we try to figure out how we get more support to get a bus to bring more people, right? Because the difference here is when it comes to the bus that we have, that smaller one, we got that all the time, right? If it's going to be a bigger bus, we got to pay a lot more for that and figure that out, okay? So we're going to do the best we can, but right now I think what Crystal is trying to communicate is we're going to try to use the smaller one as often as we can, and then try to find more resources to do more. Just want to highlight that. We understand that if you look around the room, that little bus isn't going to accommodate everybody, but please understand, the difference in cost between the little bus going out and a big bus is more than $1,000, right? So that's the tension we have to fight with, okay? We have to figure out. All right? It's just a big thing. So we're going to do the best we can, and I think the structure of going twice a month is a start.
There's a question over here.
Okay, come in. No, you had a question before you started talking.
They have places like youth and ready to grade.
It's on our show.
That are free.
I like free, so yeah.
We could be, calling them interest basis for them.
Okay, you had a question?
Yes, one more question.
My question is there a set room for the choir? Everyone moving all around?
Got it. So after I look at the schedule, after I incorporate everything, then I will sit down and look at the rooms.
Okay,
I understand that, yes, usually you meet in here. I know. Okay. Well, right now it's summer programming, so we have the summer camp, so that's why there's a lot of shuffling. But no, this is everything here that you're seeing is supposed to be in the fall. Okay, so if the stage is where you usually meet, look at that and we'll make sure you have a look. Okay, Aaron.
The question is, the transportation that you offer, is it wheelchair accessible?
Yes, it is. So if there's a wheelchair going, then it's going to be 10 seats at the wheelchair.
That's for the smaller.
That's for the smaller bus. We're talking about the 12-passenger bus. So if there's a wheelchair going, yes, your wheelchair is wheelchair accessible, but it means that those 12 seats in the back will close to make room for the wheelchair. Okay?
What about a walking?
Same thing. Okay? One more question and then I'm excluding. No? Aaron.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Aaron. Does everybody know what case management is? I'm Aaron, A-A-R-O-N. I'm a social worker, and I run the case management program at Stanley ISAACS. I would love to get a case management program here. That is a big goal of mine and a big goal of ours. So that involves social workers, right? Having social work on staff, someone you can sit down with to talk things over, counseling, help with benefits, help with referrals, patient navigation, meaning helping with appointments and medication, advocating with you with the doctor. We want to do it the right way, though, so we want to get comprehensive case management here, meaning all-encompassing, and social workers that are here, right? So that's the goal. That means we have to get funding to do that, okay? So I'm trying to follow every lead and trying to write some applications, trying to get some money to do case management here. So but what I
In
need from...
addition to what's already here. We
Yeah.
already have those pieces, that's great. We're just trying to supplement what's
Right,
here.
this is separate in addition to. And I think from what I know, from what we've done at Stanley Isaacs is doing case management in a housing development, public housing. You need a few people here, right? You need a staff of social workers that can really give the time they need. And I'll take questions for one thing that I would need from you in order to do this is that if I'm going to be asking for funding to do case management, I need to tell them that we know something about you, right? So a good way to do that is for us to come over and register you, do some assessments with you, ask you questions, and find out what the actual things that are needed in this community are. Because every community is different, every community has strengths, and every community has needs, right? So we want to know what are the areas here that we need to focus on. And then we can tell them, look, we know this community, they're here, we have the space, this is ready to go, help us out with the funding.
Ask a question.
Ask your question.
Okay, I know you was going there. Why is it that we have to sign off on that 5%? We already put Johnson.
So the reason for that...
No, they want numbers, right? Y'all working with numbers, right?
Right. Well, the system that we have right now is ISAACS system. It's Department for the Aging's database.
Why
The
do
only
we
one
have
that we
to
have.
sign up when we already there?
Well, and I hear your question. This is not for you to become like active participants at the ISAACS Center at 415 East 93rd Street. That's not what we're asking for. But the system that we have and the social workers we have now are funded through that program and that database. So in order for us to do that full assessment,
You have to make us go.
we'll come to you, we'll come here and register you in that system, and then I can pull some information and some data and glean something from those assessments.
Let me ask you this. So, since you've been assessing Johnson for so long, why didn't you know we have those services? There's many social workers that are at the health department. They provide everything that you just said, and that was the partnership that we had with them. So,
What do you have now with them, for them?
what did you just say you
Do
do?
they come here?
Yes.
And social workers, how often?
Yes.
I'm not learning
You
it, so
want
I'm
them
all
there.
ears.
As often as you
So
want.
let me jump in here, let me just jump in here and say, as I said a minute ago, the idea was to supplement what's already happened.
Right.
So that was our intent. There's a different conversation to be had about what it means for us to be able to provide the services, everything on that schedule. The reality is, we want to get reimbursed from the Department for the Aging to provide these services. To be able to do all of what we're talking about, we have to be able to say to the Department for the Aging that you are in the Department for the Aging system.
But we can't keep our own idea.
No,
We have to know what's going on.
So my question is not even about that. My question is about if you're gonna provide the same service that we worked over 10 years to even get the program that the health department is providing for us here. So we did all the support groups, we did the focus groups, we did all the stuff. They asked residents what they wanted, particularly seniors, and everything that we asked for, they're given. So they were here for a while until they moved into the building when it was renovated. So anything that we want, they would provide for us. They do the home, they do everything. So why, when you say additional, that means you didn't even look into what they already do.
So let me pause here to say, I have my clinical director here who supports the case management services. I come from the mindset that more is always better than not. So I'm just saying to you, this is what we are. If you're saying to me that all those boxes are checked, then we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to have this conversation, this part. It's okay, it's okay. I accept the fact that I don't know enough, and I've come back, and I'll continue to come back to try to learn as much as I can. But let me just be clear. If you're saying to me, you got it, we're good, it's set, I can move staff, or we can move staff to other places, okay? But my goal here is to say to you, here's additional support on top of what you already do, if you need it, if you think there's a need for it.
I understand that.
And that's all.
And my conversation with you was that we didn't have a conversation about what was being provided. So we never had that conversation.
Okay, so I feel like-
Adding extra is fine, but you didn't even know what was here.
But we would want to work together with whoever that is.
Whatever it is, I understand,
I'll
but
say
initially, the front footwork wasn't done.
For whatever it's worth, and I've done this with this, the last time I was here, and I'll continue to do it. The work up front hasn't been done to the satisfaction of you or me. All I can do now is stand in front of you with this team to say, here's what we'd like to accomplish, here's why we want to do it, here is how we can get it paid for by someone who should be doing it in the first place, and that's all I have, And that's where I'm coming from. So I acknowledge my failure as an executive director. I will acknowledge the failure of the team that has come in over the last couple of years to figure this stuff out, but I'm drawing a line. From the last time I was here, I'm drawing a line and saying, I want to get it right from here on. So I will apologize as often as necessary. I will acknowledge that we haven't done our best. This is what this team would like to offer at this point. And I thank you for your patience with us, because we haven't done the work that we needed to do. On that note, I have to bring it back full circle though to say, the only way I can get this paid for by the Department for the Aging is for our staff to sit down with you as an individual and go through an assessment. I recognize that that is frustrating, tiring, time-consuming, but I don't have a choice because it's the only way we can get reimbursed for all of the services that we're suggesting, all the services that we talked about from the Department for the Aging. It does not make you an ISAACS Center member. That's not what this is about. This is simply about the Department for the Aging gives money to the ISAACS Center. I want to make sure that the money that we're getting at the ISAACS Center goes to the Johnson community, and the only way I can do that is if we go through the assessment process. And I think, Aaron, it might be helpful if you just explain what that process looks like, and then for us to commit, if you are interested in doing this with us, to figuring out times that we can come in and do that work. So that in September, this is the schedule we can move forward with.
So I also think we're kind of in an exciting moment where it feels like there could be some momentum. We can find some of this if we do it together and we do it in a smart way. That's why we're here. And I will say, like, in terms of case management, our team's gotten pretty good at it. You know, we focus on financial management, we focus on housing stability and security, we focus on health and wellness, so we're able to talk about it in a real way. And like I said before, it seems like there's never enough of it, and if you have folks that are working with you, and we can chat with them and find out what they do well, and what we do well, you know, it could work out. So I think there's some, there's some real opportunity if we want it, if you're into it.
So you're saying in essence that in order to get funding, you need us.
I need you.
I
can't do it without you.
Let me put a little button on that.
Okay.
Let me put a little button on that. The actual response to that is, right now, the Department for the Aging gives dollars to the ISAACS Center to run a senior center at 93rd and 1st. And to run what's called a NORC, a Nationally Occurring Retirement Community. That's where you get the money. What we have said to them, I spent the last year and a half, 2 years, talking to the Department for the Aging about this, to say, we are now involved in the Johnson Center, and we'd like for those seniors that are accessing services now, or activities that are happening right now, there's more we think we can bring to the table. We'd like for you, Department for the Aging, to pay for that, because the ISAACS Center doesn't have the resources to pay for it ourselves. So to me, it's not about getting numbers, it's about making sure that the government, the city government in this case, is paying for work that they should be paying for here. That's all it is.
So if you don't get no one to rent the job, what happens with that money?
I don't know what there is to say to that except to plead for us to go through the assessment process so that I can turn to the Department of the Aging and say, I'm using that money to support seniors at Johnson. I will beg, I will plead, this staff will come out and do whatever it takes.
You're going to
Because it's that, but just be clear, with you. The reason I'm saying it that way is because I think it's that important. I think that this activities, that you already run activities, I want to supplement them to make it a full week of activity. I think city government should be paying for that. You are the connection to making that reality. You're the connection. So I'm pleading with you to consider.
With no change in the bill.
No, it's simply a matter of saying, here's the assessment process to go through. That's all.
Okay, my application, I don't have to fill out another one that says your name on it.
So the assessment, that's not what the assessment looks like?
I mean, we did Johnson, it said Johnson.
Yeah.
Now we do another one that say.
And to that point, I'm sorry, one more thing here and then I'll get out of the way. Just to be clear, there is a form that registers someone to participate in the Johnson House's Cornerstone, which is specific to services that really are supposed to take place after 2. That's DYCD's form that we have to fill out to count everybody participates. The earlier time, if we're going to get the Department of the Aging to pay for it, we got to go through the Department of the Aging database. And that to me
You
is
talk a whole lot about application and forms and all of that. But you act like we don't understand what you're saying.
I'm sorry, I apologize for that. That is not my intent. That is 100% not my intent.
So we're gonna go to that, but we're still in over a month for the summertime. And I think most of the disgruntlement that went on was because we were displaced without any knowledge, any word, or anything. That was the thing that was the most upsetting and embarrassment in our own community to be put out of our own building. This is fine. This is fine to have to come up with a schedule, to keep apologizing to your staff, because communication is bad all around. Of course, we would like to be a program that has many more services, as this has been a volunteer program for over 10 years, where we worked with no staff, and we did do a lot of things here. But now there's a whole different atmosphere. The fact that the seniors are being shuffled around like a deck of cards. The fact that they're totally being disrespected completely. The fact they had to sit outside this building on one of the hottest days in the summer because they were not allowed to come into the building. See, I'm still angry about that. All this other stuff is wonderful. How do we clean up what happened before? How do we actually get space back in a building that our seniors have passed on, make sure this building happens?
We waited a lot of years for this building.
So how do the seniors now come back into this building to be able to utilize this building and not feel that they're not wanted? How does that happen? All of this other stuff is wonderful, but it's right now it's a cover up for what people are feeling here. There's a lot of mistrust. People feel horrible. How do you make people feel better and don't think that more lies are coming behind what's going on right now? How do you make them feel comfortable?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know what. Oh, I'm sorry. So I'm gonna say some things that you're not gonna like. But I'm gonna say them anyway because that's the way I think we should operate. But I'm not gonna be disrespectful because I was raised different than that. So I'm gonna say this, number one. I communicated before the summer started with the Department of Youth and Community Development, which provides us funding to do summer camp, to say to them, how is it? There is a lot of history, there's years and years of history with this being a shared space during the summertime. And I communicated with the Department of Youth and Community Development and said to them, how are we going to do that? Because every year, the Department of Health comes in and they write us up. They give us violations because when you run a summer camp, you can't have older adults or adults that are connected to the program, that are not part of the after-school program or summer camp in the same space as those kids. Now, let me finish. I communicated that message. I wanted to resolve it. I waited to resolve it. I didn't get a response in return. The Department of Health put us in a position where I didn't feel like we had a choice. As soon as that happened, we worked to correct it. It is unacceptable the way it happened. I get that there is mistrust. I get that there is poor communication. But I just want to be very clear. The Department of Health is the one who dictates to me whether or not my doors can stay open. The Department of Youth and Community Development dictates the way my doors can stay open. What I should have done is turned to you and said, I have a problem, help me solve it, before we got to the start of the summer. That's what I should have done. So I don't know what more to say to that except I have been over here trying to fix this. I have worked with DYCD to try to fix this. We're actually, at this point, ignoring on some level what the Department of Health will do when they come in and give us another violation. Again, I'll look to you and DYCD to help us when that inevitably happens. But my understanding was, when we met last week, we put in motion all the pieces for you to have access to this space without any barriers. And I did that.
On that level.
Okay, so I guess what I don't know at this point, after talking to you last week a couple times, is I guess I just don't know what you're still not getting that you should have access to.
And the Department of Youth Services, which is another component of this. One of the things is that when we went to the Department of Youth Services, we've been in this building since it opened. The Department of Health has been in this building with us since it opened. Why did it only when you got here it became a problem? So what was going on with your bookkeeping or your record keeping or whatever that we became a problem this year when we already been here 8 years? What was the problem? The Department of Health knew we were here. The Department of Youth Services knew we were here. NYCHA knew we were here. Everybody knew we were here. You were on this side of the building.
So again,
let me finish. So we would not be integrating with the young people. That's why we were over here. We know the rule of the bathroom. When there are children in the bathroom, we do not go in the bathrooms. When the children see adults in the bathroom, they do not go in the bathroom. So we already worked all of those other kinks out. We don't roam all over the building when the children are in the building. So we've worked all of that stuff out. I'm still on, now we're gonna be in the game room, which means you gotta travel through the building a little bit.
Yeah.
And why the game room and not this room, where we're off to the side?
So again, we're talking about, so let me address the first point. Let me address the first point. I'm the executive director of the ISAACS Center. The Department of Health did not confirm with me, nor did DYCD confirm with me that those understandings were in place. So I've already acknowledged to you that our communication, I failed on my end to communicate well with you because there was some gap in understanding. Because the message I got was from the Department of Health and DYCD is that this wasn't working. So I should have turned to you.
You got that wrong. Wait a minute. You're saying that right now. When we sat at a meeting with DYCD, I never heard them say that. Who are you talking about?
Before the summer started, I was already aware because of the violations that the Department of Health was going to give us violations for the adults and young people in the space at the same time. I asked DYCD to clarify for me how to make that work. They did not clarify it for me until camp had already started. As I said, I should have turned to you and said, tell me how best to handle this problem, because the Department of Health is looking at us, because they do it every year. And again, I understand that you may have a different communication with the Department of Health than my office has. But I should have turned to you and said, help me understand this. I don't want any gaps in service. That was my failing. I accept that.
I don't even accept that. What
Okay,
you should
I don't
have
know what
done
more.
is that you should, it's not a joking matter as far as I'm concerned, it's real serious. Because this is a population that you're disturbing and disrupting them. What you should have done was really talk to DYCD. That's who you should have spoken to. You came into this building 2 years ago. You've been here 2 years already. We were here 6 or 8 years before you got here. So some kind of red flag or something should have went on and said, wow, they've been here all this time. What's the problem now? Why am I having a problem? It's not even coming to me. You should have came to somebody who was giving you some funds. You should have came to somebody who's been running the programs before you got here. So for me, every time something comes up, we always go back to the staff, you know, they're not communicating to you. Well, then you have a problem with a lot of your staff because they don't do no communication. They don't communicate here. Yeah, you find out that, you know, a lot of them are rude, they don't speak, you know, a whole lot of stuff goes on here. So we're gonna start talking about, even if we're gonna function here, then we probably need more meetings so you can understand everything that goes on here with these seniors and with the children. Because there's a whole lot that's going on here. But we felt that we were being punished because we were an easier group to get punished.
As I stated, there was no desire to punish by any stretch. I don't feel like our record keeping is inaccurate. I accept what you said 100%. I own it. I feel like I'm sorry that this happened. I've apologized for it. I'm not sure what more I can do except to say I want to try to move forward.
Wouldn't it be feasible for the seniors to be in this room instead of all over the place?
Can I just
where
ask
we
a
have to go through, where we have to go
But can I answer
through
your
the
question?
kids?
Let her finish. Let her finish.
You know,
I'm sorry.
in here, we're not around the kids. We have nothing to do with the kids if we're in here. We don't have to go out there. We don't have to go in the gym. We don't have to go in the game room. We don't have to go in that little computer room upstairs where y'all have. We're right here where no kids are. And the bathroom is right there. Why can't we have this room back?
Can I just ask, I'm sorry, now I'm going to ask a question. Do you have, when is it that you have access to this dining room right now?
We don't have access.
So let me make sure I understand this. You're saying to me right now, today, you did not have access to this room?
We were in the game room. The only reason we having access to this room right now is because we're having a meeting in here.
So,
Ms. Moore would like to say something.
I would just like to say, this is supposed to be the lunchroom for the children. Anyone?
this is not served at, I mean, now it's all in all purpose.
The reason why I'm saying this, because we're talking about the Board of Health. I was the secretary for the summer program and the after-school program after I left the Board of Education. And I know all this junk, they wouldn't allow all this stuff around in the lunchroom. And I see a lot of stuff going on, unclean stuff, it's not sanitary. I have told them, I said, the Board of Health, really, I don't know what Board of Health came in. And the kitchen is filthy. I mean, I don't know what came in. They were coming to us. I mean, they were very strict. And I had a book about this thick. For every child, I had to have information, health, everything. So I don't understand what Board of Health you have that all this junk is around here. That, you know, in the lunchroom. And then another thing I just want to bring up too, that bothers me, because I work for the board, and I also work in the Office of Food Services. And I would see, I just want to bring this up, you probably don't know that. I would see them dragging in here with the lunches for the seniors, no Saturday, they weren't nothing, dressed any kind of way, looked any kind of way, no gloves or anything. Where's the Board of Health on that?
That's unacceptable.
My job was in the Board of Education. When I worked going from site to site to check all that stuff out. I didn't see any of that here.
That's unacceptable.
Any of that here.
I got two questions.
Sure.
What indication that thing of violation, something like that? Violation that they have? When you get to the school and tell her about that?
We didn't talk about the 5,000. I acknowledge I should have turned to her and said, I'm worried about
Another
the
thing, I know you got mad at me, I don't give a heck. You are a person, told me that you're a person talk and no action. That's something. And that's something.
Sorry, Philip.
You say you have violations.
Sorry, Philip.
You say you got violations from the health department, right? So you still have those violations in your records, right? So why you didn't come to her when you first got them and
Yeah, I acknowledge I should have turned and said to Ms. Velez, I'm worried about the violation.
You wanted to get them position, so you just let them things just go your way.
We're not getting anywhere. It's the only violation you pay attention to. I know you was sort of nervous, but you know, that happens to anybody. But, the only violation you, and he was the seniors throwing them out. That's what I couldn't understand. There are many violations I see it, because that was my job. And the bathroom was filthy. I see.
So where do we go from here?
I see it.
I think there are some other questions. Yes.
This room fits us well for our birthday party on the last Thursday in the month. The game room is too small. It's too small.
And some of us can't walk
we
up
can't-
those steps.
We can't still have just the birthday parties on Thursday in this room?
We want this room back.
Yeah, I think, I hear that the desire is to have this room, yes. I will respond.
to all our pictures we had on the wall, when y'all paint, y'all throw our pictures out?
We didn't throw them out. They were.
Well, can we have
I had this conversation with my facility staff. It's unacceptable that they haven't.
I want my picture back too. I want my picture.
I don't know which one that
It's
is.
the one with the red hair.
Everything we did.
I'm serious. I'm very serious. I'm not joking
I
that
understand.
way. Wait till you get this building built.
If you sing together, we can't talk together.
I saw the attendance for that.
August, that we have a rental.
I am going to talk to the staff now and try to get clarification that this room is back in your hands as soon as possible.
But that's all you're gonna do is talk to them about getting this room back. Talk about the food, the respect of senior.
I think there's some training that needs to be done. A lot of training that needs to be done and more communication. And again, I look to Crystal and Aaron to help support the staff in working better.
Okay. Prior to the stoves and stuff being shut down, we provided we cooked and we made our sandwiches and stuff and whatnot in this kitchen. Okay? When will the stoves and things and everything get back and running so that they can be utilized once more? Because we didn't use this kitchen either. This was our kitchen either.
I don't know. I don't know.
When we all sign up and follow them. When we all sign up and follow what he wants to do, what he wants. The food that we ate from downtown, it really doesn't seem like it's, you know, it's not warm, it's not hot, it's like leftover. When they come in, they throw it on the table, and it looks so disrespectful.
Yeah, that's unacceptable. I'm disappointed to hear that that's the way communication is being done.
Yeah, because the person is sitting there and he's.
I apologize. I apologize. That's not acceptable.
So right now, we have all the extra chicken, we got cages coming in, we got 4 refrigerators. Explain to people what's gonna happen in September. Why is all this extra stuff there?
The desire was to get the kitchens, both kitchens up and running again. As you know, they've been packed, meaning that the fire department essentially, after a fire that took place here on a weekend, closed off these kitchens. So the desire is to try to get them fixed so that they're working again. In order to be able to do that, we need to create some more space, which is why you see some of these materials around.
Some of those cages,
In other words, if we cook here, we're going to need additional space to store things, which is why those boxes are there, to store more food so that we can prepare on site to have hot meals.
In other words, you're making this area smaller.
The desire is not to make this area smaller. The desire is to make sure that we're able to prepare meals here and serve.
But in order to add, you're gonna cut down.
So there's a piece that's missing, because we're gonna start talking, trying to be real. So you're not just gonna be cooking for us, because we didn't need all this extra stuff for cooking for us.
We have responsibility for cooking for the seniors who are here, the after-school children that are here, and the folks who are here in the evening. The desire is for us to do our own cooking.
You're gonna be
for that
cooking
term.
here for your after-school children?
The desire is for us not to rely on what we get from the Department of Ed, so that we're cooking for every group that's here during the course of the day.
So
Because
desire.
we think those will be healthier meals.
So desire, I don't know, that's a big
Wish
word.
list.
So what does that mean? Do you have the funding or you don't have the funding? Because if you got the equipment, you have the funding. But what I was told was that you were gonna be cooking for your seniors down at 93rd Street because they were closing the center down there, or 92nd.
So we are cooking here to serve Johnson for seniors, for after school, and for evening. We are also intending to prepare meals that will get sent downtown to our senior center. That's correct. That's exactly right.
So you're gonna prepare here and sit down there.
Which means that all the meals that you're receiving will be handmade here for you.
Is that the 10,000 that you got? Is this what the money is?
No, it has nothing to do with that.
That money is spent on security.
Actually, that money was spent on keeping the lights on. If you recall that the 8 a.m. to
The
2.
lights on, we don't pay for electricity.
I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. 8 a.m. Let me rephrase that. Let me just rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. The contract that we have with the Department of Youth and Community Development pays for the building to be open from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. So we had to find additional dollars to be able to make sure the building is open as early as 8 to 2. We don't get funding for that from anybody. You can help us try to find funding to support programming here during the weekday, in the mornings, by going through the Department for the Aging process. You've already been through that before, because of your assessments and registrations, that's fine, Eric can help verify that for us. But I just want to bring us back full circle here to say this.
Well, just before you go full circle, you need clarity. Are we paying for staff to be here to open the door in the morning?
Anytime the building is open, there has to be someone at the front desk, right? There has to be someone to supervise the building, so that's 2 staff members. And ideally, there would be a maintenance person on site.
But wait a minute. So, before we weren't opening up to 9:30 anyway. But when we went after the money, because it was the board that went after the money, we went after the money and we were not told that it was gonna be spent on opening up the building. You know, so because the building basically doesn't cost anything to open up unless you put a lot of staff in the building. So we spent maybe $1,500 and the rest of the money went to opening up the building. That's administrative and top heavy as far as I'm concerned. If we got $10,000 and we only get maybe $1,500 of it.
Okay, so I mean, one of the things that we didn't talk about during this time was the last time I was here to say, so I'm willing to work backwards and say, $10,000, how do you want to spend? I'll find it from somewhere, we'll start from there.
But you said
Actually, I started by saying that that's something we would bring back to this group to decide how that would be spent to make up for that time period.
But you said
Even though I
you
did
would
spend.
give an extra $10. You'll put it in a $10.
I'm gonna pull it from some other program within our services to bring back here, because I don't want there to be any feelings that we were moving this money around in a way that was unfair. I don't want those feelings, because that wasn't the intent.
So my question is now, as of tomorrow, because this is over 2 weeks right now, being homeless. As of tomorrow, where do we stand for tomorrow?
I'd love to be able to answer that question, but I actually need to leave the room to clarify that, and then I'm happy to come back. and
So
try to
I
get that
think
resolved.
you need to leave the room and go get it clear so people here aren't up in the air about what kind of space is going to be provided for the seniors. Sitting on a flagpole is not a good look.
There's no sign.
Right up there.
Yeah, so
You wouldn't want your mom sitting out there.
So if you could find that out for us? While we're sitting here right now, and we can have a conversation about what we heard just now?
I appreciate your patience. I will return.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.